You want one about the posse?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Mike Odom here, Odom Productions, and today is Saturday, February 22nd, and today is Toy Fair in New York, and there's been a lot of reveals today, and I kind of just want to, I'm actually taking a look at them for the first time today. I had work earlier, and then I took my wife out on a date, so I'm taking a look at them for the first time right now, and I want to go over them and give you guys my thoughts, see what you guys think, and let you guys know what I think. Let's go ahead and dive in and see where all our money's going this year. Alright, so I did miss all the announcements earlier today, but I am taking a look at Toy Arc right now, and I'm pretty much just going down the Hasbro Marvel Legend reveals. So the first character to pop up is actually Punisher, and I think this Punisher looks great. He's got that receding hairline, and I think that's a really cool feature on this figure. Makes him look a little bit older, and by those biceps, damn, they really made him buff. Looks like a new mold for those arms. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those biceps look really buff. Could be Wolverine's arm, but it would be too short if it was Wolverine. Taking a look at the abdomen, it looks like he's going to have an articulated abdomen, and that's going to be really cool. Those pants actually look really cool too, and so do the boots. Kind of has a heel, so I hope this figure isn't hard to stand up because of the fact that he has a heel. But other than that, those pants look really good. I like the folds on the bottom and everything like that. And then he has the holsters around his shoulders and his thigh. Then he also comes with a bat, so that's going to be really cool. And it looks like he's going to be a legendary rider, and it's going to come with multiple heads, which looks really cool. It's just a blacked out bike, and that's looking really badass, honestly, in my opinion. Next up, we got Lactom, and I really don't know a whole lot about this character, but I do remember him from the 90s cartoons. I just remember him showing up, and that's right before all that outer space stuff happens. So I just remember him showing up, messing up a lot of things. Juggernaut teams up with him for some damn reason, and then She-Ra comes or whatever, and then they go to space with the Phoenix. So it's really cool that we're getting this figure. I don't remember exactly. I might go back and watch that episode tonight, but yeah, I think it's cool that we're getting that character. All right, moving on, we got the blue and yellow Deadpool. I believe this is the X-Men Deadpool, and I guess it's an update on the old one. It looks like it's going to be on that bullseye mold, which will be pretty cool. I'll probably pick this up, but I'm not really looking forward to it. So I'm pretty much tired of Deadpool. I have every version of him that I could want, so this will just be an updated one and another one for the collection. So whatever. Thanks, Hasbro. Next up, we're going to take a look at Maverick. Now, I'm super stoked about this figure. I was always a big fan of Maverick in the 90s. Once you get into Wolverine's backstory and you realize he was like the leader of the X-Force, the original X-Force, and I just think this figure looks really good. The gold looks a little plain to me. It looks like it might need a little black wash on this figure, but other than that, this figure's seems pretty promising. I am excited to have that one in hand. Next up is Strong Guy, and I'm super stoked for this figure. I believe this is going to be the Build-A-Figure. He looks awesome. He has the abdomen articulation. He looks amazing other than the fact that he might have a single jointed elbow. That's understandable with a figure like that because getting the double joint could be a little more difficult. But then again, I do believe the Hulk figure has a double jointed elbow. So does anybody know if he does or doesn't? I would really like to know. Other than that, this figure's looking great. I hope he's not too hard to stand because if you look at his feet, they're kind of tiny. But other than that, I cannot wait to get this figure in person. Moving on, we got Sunspot. Sunspot's looking really good. I think the paint details look really good on that, and I like those black effects that we're going to get. I think the face sculpt came out really cool. I like the red, and the hair looks really good. I actually don't know much about this character, but I do think he looks really good, and the costume is actually killer. Next up, we got Warpath, and I'm really excited about this Warpath. It is the classic one, but I'm really excited to get this figure so I could paint it and have an X-Force version. Super cool figure, super cool character. He's going to be massive, so I'm very excited to get this one, and I can't wait till we have him in hand. Next up, they revealed they're going to redo the classic X-Men figures, which is kind of cool. I know nobody's really asking for these figures, but what's cool about it is I just got my son Jackson into X-Men, He really got interested in X-Men Evolution, and then he watched Wolverine and the X-Men. And right now, I'm actually getting him into the movies. So he's watching the first X-Men movie. We actually just finished watching the second one, where Wolverine fights off, X-Force and all that. So I think it's pretty cool that we're getting these figures, because I'm introducing my son to X-Men right now, and these are really cool. They're pretty accurate to the first Fox movies, so I'm pretty happy about that. We got a box image already, and then we're also going to get another version of him where he has the jacket, and probably going to come with a bike, so that would be pretty cool. Next up, I guess they're going to continue with these movie figures. We're getting Cable, and I'm a huge Cable fan. He's actually my favorite Marvel character. He's my favorite X-Men, everything like that. And I really liked how they portrayed him in the movies, so I'm pretty stoked to be getting this one. His arm looks pretty good. He's got the cape on, and it doesn't look like it's going to hinder him too much, so I'm happy about that. But we'll have to see what this figure's like once we get him in hand. Other than that, I really like the head sculpt. I think the hair came out really good. That gun looks badass, and he's really militant, so I really like that. And hey, I just noticed right now he has the teddy bear on his belt. That's pretty cool. Those little details, man, they really make these figures worth it. Moving on, we got Domino from the Deadpool 2 movie, and I think this Domino looks great. I'm actually a big fan of that actress. I think those boots look really good. That's actually the first thing that I noticed, were her boots. They look great. Head sculpt looks good. Her afro looks great. I'm definitely all in on these figures. I like them. You can hate me for liking the movie figures, but whatever. We all like our own stuff, and I like this figure. Moving on, we got Deadpool. Whatever. Moving on, we're gonna get Negasonic, and I actually don't know much about her other than what was in the movie, so I guess this is a cool figure. The head sculpt actually looks really accurate to the actress, so that's pretty cool, and the costume looks pretty decent, and I'm pretty sure we could do some head sculpts and come up with our own versions of X-Men, so I definitely will be picking up these figures. Next up, we got a Magneto, and I'm a little confused because this is the Days of Future Past Magneto, and he looks really cool, but I don't know who was asking for this one. And I guess what's cool is he comes with the alternate head, and what I'm confused about is why did we get that head and not the other actor's head? I hope we do. I hope we get the 3 versions, one with the helmet, one with this head, and one with the other actors. That would be really cool. I probably will be picking up these figures just because I'm a big fan of Magneto and I like those small features. Next up, we're getting Professor X, and I like the fact that we're getting both versions of Professor X. We're getting the older version and the younger version when he first loses his hair and his walking ability, and that wheelchair actually looks pretty cool. So I will definitely be picking up these figures, especially because my son's watching the original Fox movies right now. Moving on, I guess we're gonna get a classic War Machine, and I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of Iron Man in the comics. In the movies, not so much, but I do love the designs for War Machine and Iron Man. And this one looks really badass. Look at those effects that he's coming with, those rockets shooting out of his shoulder, and then the gun in his hand. He's got those blast effects. Totally think they're taking that from Mezco, but whatever. It's a more affordable effect. Next up, we'll be moving on into the X-Men Apocalypse wave, and I actually didn't even know we were getting Apocalypse, so seeing this image was actually a pretty big surprise to me. He looks really cool. I really like that laughing expression that he has, and I guess he's going to come with that skull, which is really, really cool. The cape looks cool, but I do wish it was cloth. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to come up with a cloth version probably immediately when the figure comes out, so I'm super excited for this figure. I think the red and blue looks great. It looks like he has a little shading, but that could just be the rendering from their studios, the Hasbro studios. Next up is actually the Spider-Man Gwen Stacy figure, and I'm pretty excited about this wave. I had no idea that they were going to do these 90s retro wave, and I think this is exactly what we want. This is exactly what I want. Like, Hasbro, please keep this up. I love that packaging. I love these versions of the figures. It's kind of like Batman the animated series, how DC came out with those. I love that Hasbro is coming out with these figures. I am all in. I mean, you don't got to go any further. I'm already all in on these figures, and I'm super excited for them. Next up, we got the Peter Parker, and I'm actually really excited for this Peter Parker. I had that figure as a kid, and I actually still have the camera that came with the original 90s action figure, and I've used that in a bunch of my photos. So I'm excited about this Peter Parker coming out. I do like the Peter Parker head with the glasses, and I do like the other one with the spider sense going off. And it's a pretty cool figure with that jacket, so I am excited for this figure. And then we're also going to get a classic Spider-Man, and honestly, from the photos I saw on Facebook, I'm not too happy with this figure, but I definitely will be picking it up. I don't know what it is. I think it might be the fact that it's on that buffer body mold like the Gamerverse Spider-Man was. I think that's a great figure, but I think that Buck was the wrong choice. Either way, I'll be picking up this figure just because I grew up with that version of Spider-Man. Moving on, this is pretty interesting. I didn't know we were going to get this. We're getting Hydra Soldiers, and the packaging on this looks really great. It looks like it's just going to be one figure per packaging, but hey, pick up 4 and you got a pretty cool box set going on. I definitely will be picking up a few of those because I have no Hydra agents. Next, we're getting an Iron Man 2020, and this is a pretty cool looking figure, but again, they just put out too many Iron Mans, and this is just another version, another $20 that you're gonna have to blow just to have every single version of Iron Man. But I do think it's a pretty cool one. I do like those shoulder gears. They look pretty cool, and the whole overall design is pretty cool. And it looks like it's gonna come with some pretty cool effects and some alternate heads. Moving on, we're gonna get a Red Hulk, and I'm pretty excited about this one because we have just got the Green Hulk, we got the Gray Hulk, and then we're gonna get this Red Hulk, and I'm pretty excited about that. I really hope that he comes out really nicely. I like this figure. I like the last two Hulks that came out. I did not get the SDCC exclusive one, but I am looking forward to this. I was a big fan of the Jeff Loeb story when he first appeared and killed what did he kill? Abomination or somebody? By the way, it was pretty cool. I definitely will be picking up this figure, and I think he looks pretty comic accurate, and I think the packaging is pretty badass. Next up, we got the Gamerverse Star Boost Iron Man, and like I said, these are just money grabs. I have no interest in this figure. It kind of looks cool because it's kind of space age, but then again, it's really ugly. And there it is in the packaging, so that just means we're getting it really soon. Alright, next up, let's take a look at Jean Grey, and I think this figure looks great. I really like the face tattoo. The overall costume looks really great. I do wish we got some alternate hands and maybe an alternate head for this figure, but regardless, I'll be picking it up, and the Build-A-Figure looks really great. And the new Build-A-Figure is going to be Sugar Man, and I'm actually pretty excited about this figure just because it's something new and it's something different, and he was such a bizarre character that I love that Hasbro just decided to do it for us. So this is a really cool figure, and I'm excited for this Build-A-Figure and this wave coming out. Next up, we'll take a look at Sunfire, and this Sunfire looks great. It looks like it's going to be on the Bullseye body mold, and I think it just looks great. I think Hasbro's knocking it out the park. All the paint apps look great. He is going to be see-through, that kind of translucent plastic. I just hope he's not gummy. So I'm excited for this figure, and I just really hope he doesn't come out gummy. There he is in the packaging, and I love the way he looks. Next is the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, and I think it looks really good. I actually really like the hair and the face tattoos. I like the expression that he's coming with. I think that's a really cool expression. And I think the blue or black on his costume looks really flat, and it looks like a really nice blue, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I love the way it looks in the packaging, so I definitely will be picking up this whole wave. Next up, we got X-Man, which I believe is Cable, which correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Nathan Summers if he didn't get the techno-organic virus in him. And this is when he was super strong and facing Apocalypse. That's what I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I know his name is X-Man, and I know that he fought Apocalypse on his own and defeated him. But yeah, that's what I assume of him, and I think it's a really cool character, and I'm very excited for this character to come out. I remember it was Days in Future Past that they kind of put an Easter egg in for him in the very beginning of the movie. There he is in the packaging, and he looks awesome. I love that eye effect. Next up is Wild Child, and this figure is pretty cool. I definitely will be picking it up, but we definitely have to get the Sabretooth. Like, I'm going to pick this figure up and just kind of put it to the side until that Sabretooth comes out. But yeah, I'll definitely be picking it up. The head sculpt looks really great. Other than that, nothing really special going on. There he is in the packaging, and the head sculpt looks really great, and the feet and hands. That's pretty much the only thing going on with that figure. Next up is the Age of Apocalypse Dark Beast, and this figure looks great. I really like the head sculpt. I like the menacing teeth, and the eyes look really great. I like the braids he has on the side, but I don't know anything about that sugar hammer. Either way, this figure looks great. Here he is in the packaging, and I will definitely be picking up this figure. Next in the wave is Morph. I don't know why they went with this Morph, but whatever. I've never even seen this version of Morph. I did read a bit of Age of Apocalypse, not the whole thing. I did read the beginning and the end. I don't really know anything about this Morph, but whatever. I guess I'll be picking it up. There he is in the packaging, and he looks weird. Next up is the Gamerverse Captain America, and I think it looks okay. It just looks like a cop that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want Captain America to look like a modern SWAT team agent, cop, douchebag. You know what I mean? Like, I probably will not be picking up this Gamerverse wave. It's not going to come with any Build-A-Figure shit, so I'm not going to pay 20 or over 20 for that. Oh, I guess it's the Abomination wave. But yeah, I have no interest in that wave. I guess they're giving us another Iron Man, and again, there's nothing different about that one, and it's kind of ugly. Next up, for that Gamer wave, we're actually getting a Marvel, and he looks great. I definitely will be picking that one up because he's a classic comic book character. They nailed it. I don't think it was too complicated. I think this was just a figure that they didn't know what to do with. They had the design already, and they just stuck it in the wave. I'll be buying it because I read comics. There he is in the packaging, and I think it looks pretty good. Pretty basic, not too hard to mess up. Good job, Hasbro. Now this is confusing. Why did they add Miss Marvel? We've already got this figure before. I don't give two shits about her. I've read maybe 3 comics with her in it, and I just skimmed over her. Just didn't care what she was even talking about. Next up, we got Mark 1, and I guess he's going to come from the Gamerverse. Can't tell you anything about that besides he looks kind of weird. Probably like I said, I'm probably going to be skipping out on that wave. Except for this guy, Leader. We're getting Leader. He's one of the major Hulk enemies. He in the Edward Norton movie, I think they were making a play towards him where the guys were like that gamma ray whatever stuff was dripping into his head and making him smarter. Anyways, this is a classic Marvel villain. He's not just Hulk's villain, he's pretty much all the Avengers villains, so this is a must-have if you read comics. This guy Rage, I don't know anything about him. He looks like a wrestler villain, and I don't know what else to tell you. Actually, the hair on his chest looks pretty cool. The mask looks pretty cool. I like the menacing face. The spikes on him look pretty cool. I guess you can make him like a pretty cool like thug or something like that. You know, like a street thug, whatever it may be. I might pick this figure up. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Next up, we got the Old Man Logan Hawkeye. And I'm actually really excited about this figure. I loved that story. Who wrote that? Mark Miller? I believe Mark Miller wrote that. I'm not going to look it up right now or anything. But I was a big fan of that story, and Hawkeye was pretty badass in that. So to be getting a version of this Hawkeye, I'm pretty excited, and I will pick it up immediately. Pre-order it if it's available. Next up, we got the Old Man Logan. We got an updated Old Man Logan, and this one looks great, man. This knocks the last figure out the water. I mean, shit. Can I sell mine now? Either way, I'll be picking this figure up. I think the cape looks... I mean, the coat... I think the coat looks really good. I hope it's a really soft plastic and it's easily posable. I think Baby Hulk looks great. We'll have to see what it looks like in hand to see how accurate the green is and how the hair came out. But either way, I'll be picking up both Old Man Logan figures. Next, they revealed the classic Rogue, and I'm pretty excited about this figure. A lot of people had a hard time getting the 90s Rogue, so here's your chance to get your second Rogue, update your collection, whatever it may be. Rogue actually does rock this outfit a lot in the comics, so it's pretty accurate, and I'm excited to be getting this figure. Not much more to say about that. I think it looks like a new female body mold, because if you look at her waist, it's pretty skinny, and then her thighs are thick. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited about getting this figure. Nothing too weird about that, just a pretty cool figure. Next up, we're getting a classic 90s Storm. This one looks really great. I definitely will be picking this one up. I do have the white suit and the black suit Storm, but I definitely would put this in my collection over those ones. I don't know what it is, just it's a sexier suit. She looks great. The very first X-Men cartoon I ever watched, that's what she was wearing in that old Australian Wolverine X-Men. Next up is Nimrod, and I'm pretty excited about this figure. If you've been reading X-Men comics, the whole like story that had gone down with the Sentinels, that story was great, man. And I'm pretty excited about getting Nimrod because a lot of the time he is very important. He fights, you know, I think Days of Future Past has to deal with him. He's like the evolution of the Sentinels, and there's no eliminating Nimrod. And he was really funny in the comics recently, because he had lived forever and he just like developed a psychosis. Anyways, I will definitely be picking this figure up. I don't know if it's a Build-A-Figure or not, but it does look pretty badass, and I will be picking it up because it's part of the X-Men. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, listening to me ramble on about the new Marvel Legends coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got your wallets ready because they are trying to take all our extra dough for 2020. Anyways, choose wisely. Don't pick up everything. Get the figures you want. Pass on the ones you don't want. Buy the Build-A-Figure parts off of people who are selling them. Yeah, save your money. Get the figures you really love. Don't go in debt because of it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked this video. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.